what's up everybody? I'm Ben from Elite Welding Academy. I'm here at the Cincinnati campus, and today we're going to show you how to do weld art. We get a lot of inquiries from students and graduates on how to do these weld art pieces, whether it's for friends or family, or maybe you want to start your own business. So in this video, we're just going to kind of show you a good starting point on where to start when it comes to making your own weld art. Definitely no Dabs Wellington stuff going on here, but it'll definitely get you started. So enjoy the video.
All right, so to get us started today, we have our steel plate. This is actually a carbon steel plate. I'm not exactly sure the measurements on it, but obviously it's pretty big, so we're gonna have a pretty fun piece to work with here. The other things we're gonna need to start is we're gonna need a hard rock on a grinder, and we're gonna need a tiger paw to give it that good finish. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on that. Enjoy the B-roll. So the goal here is to remove any and all mill scale, because we're actually going to be using stainless filler on this base metal. So these little spots of mill scale, that's a no-go. We're going to have to get rid of all of them. Completely cleaned off with a hard rock stone. Now we're going to get the tiger paw out, smooth it all out, and get rid of all this So we reached a good breaking point. As you can see, we hard rocked the plate completely clean of all the mill scale. We used the tiger paw to kind of buff up the material, just get a nice flat smooth surface. But you can see it left all these swirl marks. So now we're going to take a wire wheel and we're going to buff the surface just to get rid of all those swirl marks. And then it'll be time to actually apply the actual graphic that we're going to be welding. So let's get to it. As you can see here on our plate, this is the part that's been wire wheeled, and this is the part that's been tiger paw. So here's the finished condition of the base metal that we're going to rock with. We didn't really want a mirror finish or a shiny finish, and that's why we kind of went with the hard rock and the grinding disc the way we did. The next stage to this is we're going to be picking out the actual design. We're going to be printing it out on paper, and very much like tattooing, we're going to basically trace the design into the base metal, which will leave a stencil of the actual design, and then we're just going to weld her up. So let's get into that.
Alright, so as you can see, we have our plate with our graphic and our text ready to go. Now before we get to that part, I'm going to explain how we did this real quick. We just printed off our graphic on a normal piece of paper. Use Scotch tape just to stretch it all out, make sure there's no gaps, it's nice and flat up against the metal plate. We used a speed square or ruler, however you want to do it, just to even it all out, make sure you're getting everything center on the plate. And the next thing that we're going to do is we have this little etching tool. It's made by Dremel, relatively inexpensive. I think you can get these on Amazon for about 25 bucks. We're going to use this to trace all the lines to give us our graphic on the metal plate, and then we're going to start welding. So let's get into that. You can see I'm just kind of tracing the lines here.
The goal isn't to destroy the piece of paper or apply too much pressure. It's very light pressure, and as long as you can kind of see the paper kind of getting some indentations in it, that indentation is being applied to the plate itself as well.
So we started with the stars on the flag and we got all those etched out. The reason why we started with the stars is we want to start with the stuff that's on the inside first, because we don't want to remove any of the paper that has this outer line. So the next stage is going to be the wavy lines, then we'll do the outline, then we can remove the piece of paper flag and we can see what we got. That's a good sign. Looks good, looks real good. Did exactly what we needed it to do.
All right, there's our flag. So next part, we're just gonna go ahead, we're gonna add the letters real quick, then she's gonna be ready for welding. One thing to keep in mind before you start etching out letters, if you have a letter like, let's say for example, R, you're always gonna wanna do that inner part first and not the outer part first. So we're gonna start with the R and then we'll knock out the A and then the rest of the letter.
So the etch job came out excellent. We're very pleased with this. So this sucker's ready to weld. So let's get to that.
All right, so we just got our piece completely cleaned with acetone. We've got a fresh, sharp piece of tungsten. We're ready to get welded. We're gonna start up here on the stars. We're gonna try and knock all those out. We'll see how the plate's doing on heat, and then we'll go from there. So good when it's done. Now that we have all the stars on here, what we're going to do now is we're going to let the plate rest. It's a little warm.
20 minutes later.
All right, so we come back and the plate is nice and cool. And we're gonna go ahead and start adding our lines. I should have mentioned this earlier, but we are using 309 filler wire because in our experience, it works and looks the best on carbon steel. So again, the plate is cooled. We're gonna go ahead and start adding our lines. We're gonna work on the interior lines first and the outer perimeter lines last.
All right, so we went ahead and added a bunch more lines. Again, plate's getting real hot, so we're gonna break, we're gonna go grab some lunch, and we're gonna finish off the flag right after we get back from lunch.
One humongous meal later.
Okay, so what's up, everybody? We just got back from lunch. We obviously were letting the plate cool while we went to lunch. Cool to the touch. We got a couple more lines to add, then we're gonna do the perimeter, and if we have time today, we're gonna go ahead and hit the letters as well. So let's get to it. So as you can see, we have our weld completely finished on our plate here. Very happy with the results, except for one little thing. We did end up with a fair amount of warpage, but we're gonna fix that. So what we're gonna do as a solution to that is we have some 1-inch flat bar stock here. It's about 1/8 inch thick. We're gonna have to make it slightly bigger than the actual base metal itself, but what we're gonna do is make a frame that's gonna be slightly raised up, and the way we're gonna raise it is we have some all thread here that we're going to cut down and tack in all 4 corners that will actually raise the frame a little bit away from the base metal, giving it some depth and hide some of that warp. So let's get into that. All right, so we have the first part of the frame cut out. We made it 25 inches since our base plate is 24 inches. What we're gonna do just to make sure we're getting good consistent measurements is we're just gonna take this, we're gonna lay it right on top. Use a piece of soapstone so we mark and get consistent lengths here. We got the top and bottom of the frame. Length is perfect, so happy with that. Our base metal is about 16 inches high, so we're gonna cut these next pieces at about 17 inches. All right, last cut. I think that'll work out beautifully. All right, so now that we're happy with the frame, before we weld it, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut our little risers out of these pieces of all thread here. I'm thinking about 3/4 to 1 inch long, so we need 4 of them. Let's do that right now. All right, so we have our frame laid out. We got all of our squares where we need them to be, and everything looks good. So we're gonna go ahead and tack the inside corners, and we'll weld out on all 4 corners. So let's do that now. All right, so we have the inside corners of the frame totally tacked off. Now we're gonna go ahead and weld it out, and then add it to our piece.
lot of fun making this piece. We really hope everyone out there enjoyed the video. Remember, this video wasn't about making professional weld art. This is for new welders out there that are looking to get into something like this on their own, and we really hope this video will help you guys out. With that said, you can be doing us a nice solid if you give this video a like, or if you have another idea for a video in the future you'd like us to do, leave it in the comments down below. Have a good day, guys. We'll see you soon.